So another video about black magic. I searched my house a little, all the books that I had that I did not throw away yet. Maybe I will burn them. It's The Flower of Life, which is from Kabbalah Melchizedek, where he basically, it's about the Merkaba, which they call the chariot of God, and how to spin the Merkaba around your body. I did that also for many years. That's the guy, Kabbalah Melchizedek, and that's just Islamic mysticism, Merkaba. A little more advanced stuff. Michael Aquino. The only book that I could find about the Kundalini back then was Living with the Kundalini by Gopi Krishna. This guy wanted to kill himself after he had his Kundalini awakening. He wanted to drink himself to death because he was in so much pain. And he traveled through all India to find one guru that could help him. He did not find one guru in all of India who had himself had a Kundalini awakening. So much to Kundalini awakenings, and that's a good thing. Obviously the gurus are massively advertising that, like Sadhguru, what's his name, Jagi Vasudev. He wanted to kill himself. The book on the Kabbalah, I threw it away. It's basically for all you who don't believe me that the pillars have been switched over 100 years ago. That's the Kabbalah that you can learn. I don't know if you can see it. Wait a second. I don't know if you can see that. You see Kether on top, Bina on the right, Chokma on the left, Geburah on the right, Chesed on the left, Hod on the right, and Netzach on the left. That's, I think, from Dion Fortune. There's another Kabbalah where Bina is on the left side of the body, on the right side of the body, which it is not. That's the book The Holy Kabbalah from A.E. Waits, and you can see that Bina is the high priestess, and the left side of the body is female, the right side is male, the left side is taking, the right side is giving. So the last book that was true about the Kabbalah was from over 100 years ago. Just Google it. A.E. Waits Kabbalah. I think the book is from 1902 or something like that. And he knew what he was talking about because he was involved with the Golden Dawn until he saw the evil in that. And now they call him a Christian nutcase, or they called him anyway. So that's I looked all over for the book on the Kabbalah, but I'm 100% sure that Bina and the pillar of severity has to be on the right side of the body, the pillar of mercy is on the left side of the body, which is hot is on the left side at the hip, and Geburah is on the right side, and the high priest is on the right hand side, and the high priestess on the left hand side, and Kether obviously is above the head. And I just saw an interview with David Bowie from the he was talking about his career, and he has a song called From Kether to Malkut. Malkut in the Kabbalah is basically the earth realm. I don't know if you can see that. Malkut is basically the earth, and the Kabbalah is what it represents. It is a roadmap to the soul, and it's a roadmap to the soul of God, which is the macrocosm, and also the roadmap to the soul of man, which is the microcosm. And if you know about fractal geometry, that's basically what the Kabbalists say that the cosmos is like. It's a fractal image. So a fractal image, it's also called a Mandelbrot fractal or fractal, and it's an image where you see, for example, an image where you can zoom in, and it's always the same image. You can zoom in more and more and more, and it's always the same patterns that emerge. Mandelbrot fractal looks like Mandelbrot fractal. I never rehearse my videos, so please bear with me. That's a Mandelbrot fractal. If you zoom into it, it always becomes the same image. You can zoom into it, and that's basically also, if you zoom into this part here, it will become again the whole image. That's a Mandelbrot fractal, and that's what the Kabbalists say the universe is like. So basically God's soul is the macrocosm, and the soul of human beings is the microcosm. It's just a smaller image, and according to the Kabbalists, that's why the Bible says God created man in the image of himself. And the word image in Hebrew is basically an exact copy of himself. That's also why the demons hate us, according to the Kabbalists, because we have this godly potential. So I just wanted to say that because I don't want people to think that I'm just talking about stuff and I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, the externalization of the hierarchy now has been going on for over 100 years, and to think that politicians that it makes any difference if Trump gets elected or the other guy, Biden. It doesn't matter anymore. We're too far down the road of this insanity that was started by not only by Helena Blavatsky, which Adolf Hitler had a signed copy of the true book, which is not available to the public. I have the two books, but it's not the real stuff. So there's also this thing that there's a version for the public and then there's the real stuff. And that's with all the black magic books, basically, in my opinion. Even if you read all the idiotic books that Crowley wrote, you don't have a clue what you're doing, because he uses language that is so arcane and difficult to understand that you, even if you can understand, it's booby-trapped. He did. Why would a black magician give away all his secrets? Because he's such a good guy? No. And Crowley also wrote all the or at least some of the rituals, but if not all of the rituals for Wicca, which is it was invented in the 40s by Gerald Gardner, who was also an affiliate of Crowley, and he had much more influence on the culture. Aleister Crowley had much more influence on the culture than people think. He, for example, there was a guy called Alfred Kinsey who wrote the first book on human sex. He was called the sexologist or something, and he wrote two books. He wrote the book Sex in the Human Male and Sex in the Human Female. And this guy was a Thelemite. He was a follower of Aleister Crowley. He was himself a masochist, which was discovered at his autopsy, that he mutilated himself sexually. And this guy was a complete pervert, and he changed all the laws in America concerning pedophilia and concerning how much prison time rapists and so on should get. He was very influential politically, and he was a Crowleyite. Kenneth, there are even pictures of him in the Abbey Thelema in Italy with Kenneth Anger. That's the guy who has Lucifer tattooed over his chest, who now works for the Disney company. Strange world. Very strange. Hugh Hefner was ultimately influenced by Crowley, at least influenced by Crowley, if not he himself was a Crowleyite himself. I don't know that exactly, because I don't really give a hoot about pornography. Then there was the story about Larry Flint, who was who made Hustler, the magazine, which was even more explicit than Playboy from Hugh Hefner. He was also a Crowleyite, as far as I know, or he's still alive. So he and his daughter wrote a book about him. Her name is Tonya Vega, I think. That he molested her, basically, most of her life. So he's a pedophile. And many of these guys who get into black magic, even by proxy, even if you're just affiliated with an organization that has the spiritual headship of Aleister Crowley, like for example Masonry, excuse me, Freemasonry. This energy, this evil energy, leads you to be tempted in this direction of perversion, sexual perversion, and black magic and so on. And even if you don't know about it, and even if you're a Christian, if you're a Mason, the spiritual headship over that organization are people like Aleister Crowley, for example, which was probably one of the most highly decorated Masons in the world, after Albert Pike. So this stuff is very real, and the Bible warns about all of this, and it happens. You just have to look at it, and you just have to listen. Listen to the interview with the daughter of Larry Flint, the guy that made Hustler magazine, and he was depicted in a movie by Woody Harrelson as like a figure of free speech and a hero and so on. But this guy is disgusting, in my opinion. I mean, listen to the interview of his daughter, what he did to her. That's why I say, as far as I know, he is a Crowleyite. Because I'm judging, and I don't know it, but I judge him according to his deeds, like the Bible says. By their fruits you will know them. And if you're a pedophile and you're getting away with it for decades and decades and decades, then that's another level of evil behind that. And anyway, all this stuff is being massively advertised. Kundalini awakening, meditation, to calm your mind, hypnosis. And it's expressly forbidden to do these things in the Bible. And not for no reason, because it's dangerous. It might be entertaining to watch people being hypnotized or something, but it's not real. Hypnotism is demonic. It's not a good thing. And a lot of if you listen to Roger Morneau's testimony, A Trip into the Supernatural, it's also available in German. He was lured into a secret society very slowly, and he just got away with it, because usually they kill you. So if you're involved in this thing at an organizational level, there, according to John Todd, there's a bounty on your head which starts with $10,000. And I absolutely believe that's true. And many people believe that John Todd is not credible, or was not credible. He said he was from a generational witchcraft family who were originally called Collins, and they were involved in the Salem witch trials. That's his lineage, and he was the last male heir to that family, and it's a long story, but if you're interested in it, it's absolutely worth listening to. He basically explains that his mother was involved in Hollywood. Charmed, the script for the television series Charmed was based on diary entries of his great-grandfather, and his mother was a co-producer or so of the show, which this show basically made witchcraft look cool for teenagers. Yeah, and this guy vanished after he talked about Hollywood and the music industry. It's like I don't know what happened to him. I think, as far as I know, he just disappeared into thin air. And pretty interesting what he says. For example, the words that you speak are not important. It's important is the intention behind the words. So there's a thing called gray magic, which is also used in music a lot. And basically the words that they speak, for example, when they say the word Jesus, they mean Lucifer. So they can hold the most beautiful sermon about Jesus, but in reality they're speaking about Lucifer. So it's the intention behind the words. And John Todd said that Kiss is means Nights in Satanic Service. The Rolling Stones are involved in Thelema. The Beatles even had Alistair Crowley in the background of the album cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which is pretty odd. Why would you include a man who described himself as the wickedest man and the Beast 666 on your album cover? I don't know. Must be coincidence. Thank you.